Hey everybody, this is Mr. Turd, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Britons in the campaign map for Rome 1. So come with me and let's check what these Brits can do in the campaign. Go. Hello everybody, welcome to the campaign map as Britain. Welcome to the British Isles up here, and today we're going to be talking about them, how they fare in the campaign, how they start, and what's good and what's bad about them. Alright, let's get started. So the Britons have 4 cities over here, 3 cities in the British Isles and 1 city in the mainland. 3 of them are tier 1 and 1 of them is tier 2. Of course, you guessed it, it's Londinium, the capital. This is the only tier 2 city that they have. These 2 cities up here, they don't even have 1,000 population, which is pretty bad, especially if you're playing on very large unit sizes. And Samarobriva has 1,600, Londinium has 2,800 people. That's decent enough to start with, but all the other cities they are kind of bad. Anyway, about money, let's see the money. You start with 5,000 denarii. Well, that's refreshing because we went through a couple of factions that started with only 3,000. So starting with 5,000 denarii is pretty good. We are making 550 denarii per turn, but if we put everybody to very hard, which fortunately enough you can, over here, let's just do that real quick, and I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be 1,700 or so denarii. Okay, so there it is. Everybody's happy still, and you can just get over here on the financial 1,700 denarii, which is not gonna be too bad indeed. Okay, so that's not really too bad. They are only able to recruit warbands in turn 1, so that's the only unit that you're going to be able to recruit. But because you can recruit Woad Warriors from the Temple of Andrasta, you can just do it turn 2. You can have some Woad Warriors. They are pretty good for flanking, so be sure to check them out. They have a high attack as well. Then if you focus on the blacksmith, let me check this out. If you focus here on getting the blacksmith unlocked, you can build chariots on turn 5, which is also fairly nice. It's going to be British Light Chariots, but these guys are good enough against the early game units. This is turn 5, you get chariots. Alright. Then obviously you start on an island, and your army is not too bad. You have this army over here. You can take 3 units out of Londinium. You have these 2 units over here in Aburacum, and you have 2 units here at Deva, and you still have this guy over here. What this means is that with these ships you can bring these guys over. You can then pick up some more units over there and take them over here to Samarobriva. You can then go straight to Condati Redonum or Alesia as soon as you have all of your troops here, and then you can just go back and take Tara with this guy plus these 2 warbands. You should be able to get it done because you have chariots and the enemy does not. You know, just lay them under siege for a couple of turns and they will, I wouldn't say surrender, but they will give you a small fight for sure. Okay. Anyway, let's go. What do you do with the Britons other than this that I just told you? So, you know, take Tara, obviously. But then what do you do about them? Let's go to the strategy part of this video. Alright, so when you start the game, you start bordering, of course, the Germanians and the Gauls. And you're gonna have to pick one of them to fight. Alright. How to pick one to fight? Well, it's going to be very easy. You're going to pick the Gauls because the Germans have the warbands, the spear warbands, and the spear warbands for the Germans, they get phalanx. And phalanx is very powerful head-on, so you're going to have to go around them. Of course, you have the mobility of the chariots, so it shouldn't be too hard, so you could go for the Germans first. However, because the Germans are kind of slow in the beginning, because they have 5 cities, they will expand early on, and so they will not be spending a lot of money developing their towns, so their armies are not going to level up until later on, so they will not get good cavalry to try to counter your chariots or anything like that. So you will very likely be able to defeat them after you defeat the Gauls, because defeating the Gauls is fairly easy. They also have normal warbands just like yours, but you have the advantage, the massive advantage of the chariots, so that's going to be pretty good. So you take out the Gauls and then you can go and take out the Germans, even though the Romans will be your main aggressor, I guess, at that point after you get to Massalia, and especially because you will want to have access here to the Mediterranean to start getting that trade up with Carthage, with Spain, with maybe with Rome if you're not at war with them, with the Greeks, and well, all these factions, even Egypt if you can get that far for a trade agreement. And you have a diplomat over here at Samarobriva, so you can, if you go for gold, you can ally with the Germans. If you go for the Germans, you can ally with the Gauls. They will probably accept that. Okay, so what's good and what's bad about the Britons on the campaign map, guys? Okay, this is not too hard. So let's go for the good things about them. You start off in an island. Okay, so even if you lose Samarobriva, you're gonna have a little bit of a defense here. You have a natural border, that's the Northern Sea. So that's not going to be too hard, and the AI is not very competent with landings, so you can pretty much take your time and develop your main land if you want a challenge, because these factions will develop as well. Alright, it's not yours. And then you have the chariots. The chariots are a massive advantage, especially if you go into into the auto resolve button, because they have a huge bonus doing that, okay, on the auto resolve. So the AI, I don't know why they just give them superpowers on auto resolve. Okay, and I was trying to think about anything else good about the Britons, and honestly I think this is it. I think these are the good parts about the Britons. Of course that they also have druids, they also have head hurlers, so you have buffs, you have debuffs on enemy units. So that's pretty good as far as the Britons go, and the head hurlers are actually one of the strongest missile units in the game, so definitely a good thing. But I don't think it's a good thing about the faction as in general on the campaign. So I'm not gonna list it here. Anyway, what's bad about them? Okay, so these are things that usually go into every single one of the barbarian factions, which is their cities only go up to tier 3. So that's obviously a disadvantage here, especially when you go into late game. They have a low population for a start, for example, in Aburakum and Deva, so you're gonna take your time to develop these towns over here, even though you're probably safe, you don't need to get any walls or anything like that. But yeah, they're gonna take time. Okay, the best thing you can do maybe would be to get everybody on a ship and go raid Rome and just enslave the population to make your cities grow. And I'm kidding, don't do that. That's kind of crazy. On the other hand, yeah, that might be fun, so maybe do it. I don't know. Only up to 25 public order bonus. Yes, guys. They only go up to 25% public order bonus, and I'm gonna show you here how is that. So they have the tavern, the Bardic Circle, that I know everybody has the taverns, and this gives them up to 10% public order bonus. And then every single temple, it gives them only up to 15% public order bonus. You have one that gives you then health. You have one that gives you some trade, and you have one that then gives you some experience for your troops and unlocks head hurlers and, of course, Woad Warriors. You know, so this is pretty bad. That means that in the late game you're gonna have so many problems with public order. Now it's crazy. So you have to exterminate everything and never build farms, because farms are gonna increase your population more. But then again, they also don't have laws, so that means that faraway settlements will just be not worth keeping for the sheer amount of corruption that you're gonna have there, and for the amount of units that you'll need to keep the peace in those settlements. So what that means is that the long campaigns for the Britons are extremely hard, and in fact that's common to the Germanians, that's common to the Gauls, that's common to the Spanish, I believe. We are going to get to the Spanish, and then I'm going to check that out. So just you wait for that video. Anyway, yeah, so the Britons are a good faction for a short campaign because they have a lot of blitz power, especially with their general chariots. If we get here, they are a chariot unit. So you start with chariots in the beginning, and you can pretty much just blitz the Gauls out of this game very easily. And your goal here is to actually take out the Gauls. And I think the Britons are pretty good at for a speed run on a short campaign, but the long game is not for the Britons, and indeed I don't think for any one of the other barbarian factions. So okay, tier. I thought long and hard about what tier to give the Britons, and I was quite unsure about what to give them, but I finally settled on one because I think that the Britons are fun, especially because of the head rollers. You're literally throwing the heads of your enemies at them, so that's pretty fun, I believe. And they're strong as well. So what I'm thinking is they cannot be a D tier because they're kind of fun to play, right? They're not just torture to play as, so I don't think they can go for the D tier. And of course, we have to consider that they are pretty bad. You know, their early game is not that great because of the population. However, they live on an island, so they have the time to develop. If they blitz the Gauls, that's pretty easy, so you're gonna have a good time. They have good things, right? But the population order not working for long campaigns, and the cities only going to tier 3, that will put them down on this list. And so are they a B tier? Can they get to the B tier? I don't think so, and that is why I am giving them the C tier, guys. C tier for the Britons in the campaign. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this. If you disagree, please do comment on the video. You know, just tell me, hey Turd, I disagree with you because of this. And if you make a good point, if I agree, then I will pin your comment and you guys can shine a little bit out there with your super knowledge about the game, because granted, my knowledge is not 100%. I still have some stuff to learn about the game, but this is my experience with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much.